Hello, it's Dr. Lou. In case you have not watched the prior videos, I am the lead faculty member who has created the online laboratory classes using kits from Science Interactive. In today's video, I'm going to review polyatomic ions and clarify the instructions for making the flashcards. The first part of this lesson from Science Interactive deals with polyatomic ions. What exactly is a polyatomic ion as a review? So polyatomic ions contain usually two or more elements to make a negatively charged, charged ion. Most of the time, the elements are going to be non-metals, but there are a few cases, such as with chromium and chromate, where we have a transition metal in the polyatomic ion. If we have oxygen as one of the elements, then we have a special class of polyatomic ions called oxy ions. In this first part of the lesson, we will get ourselves acquainted with polyatomic ions. Depending upon your lecture class, whether it is 1032 or 1025, you may or may not be responsible for learning the polyatomic ions. If you are responsible for learning or memorizing the polyatomic ions, these flashcards can be of help. In the exploration section, we are provided a table. I know the table is hard to read on this particular screen, but the table contains all of the polyatomic ions for which we are responsible for what? Making flashcards. If the polyatomic ion is not in this table, you are not required to include it on the flashcards. So just remember, this entire exercise is dealing with what? Polyatomic ions. So when making the flashcards, you want to only include what? Polyatomic ions on the flashcards. There will be two flashcards at the end for acids and diatomic elements, but those should be pretty explanatory. So now I want to go over a sample flashcard so that you can become familiar with making the flashcards and not losing points. Here is a flashcard. For example, or for this example, we're going to use sulfur. So I'm going to write up at the top of the card sulfur. There we go. Okay, and actually let me move this up just a little bit on my note card so that we have a little bit more space to write. So on this particular card, we're going to write all of the polyatomic ions containing sulfur. The first ion I am going to write is SO4 2 minus. SO4 2 minus is going to be sulfate. As with any polyatomic ion, we can reduce the amount of oxygen to have SO3 2 minus, which is going to be sulfite. In the table, we also have HSO4 minus, which is bisulfate. And notice how we have what? Bisulfate. And what is different about this ion from the previous ion? So what is different about the bisulfate is, look, what's in the front? What happens to be in the front is a hydrogen. So when we add hydrogen to the what? Front of the polyatomic ion, we drop the charge or make it one more positive. So it becomes now a negative 1 instead of a negative 2. And we put the word bi in front. So if we have H, let's see, SO3 minus, HSO3 minus is going to be bisulfite. Again, the H is bi, now just a negative 1 charge, and because we have 3 oxygen instead of the 4 oxygen, it becomes what? Bisulfite instead of bisulfate. Like with any submission in the form of a photograph, we want to write our name and date on the card.